Welcome to 2026, Taurus. Happy New Year. It's Dadhichi here. I'm sorry I'm not on video. I'm having some nerve trouble with my arm and I had a big cold sore on my lip, so the last thing you want to see is me in pain and looking ugly. But anyhow, you've been in a pressure cooker since 2018 when Uranus first dived into your sign, and this coming year is going to mark the completion of one of the most profound transformation cycles in your life. Uranus is finally preparing to leave for good, and that's taken 7 years for it to do that. But you can still expect some shaking up of everything, even though you thought everything was solid and permanent. Before you breathe a sigh of relief, understand one thing, that the real work is just beginning. Now, January to April, I would coin the spiritual descent. The year begins with the North Node in Pisces moving through your 11th house of friendships, aspirations and life goals, while the South Node in Virgo continues in its 5th house movement. And this relates to your creativity, romance, and your children as well. So your karmic assignment for the first half of the year at least is pretty clear, and that is to stop trying to perfect your creative output, stop critiquing your romantic worthiness, and instead surrender to the mystical possibility of community and collective dreaming. You're being asked to release the South Node in Virgo's tendency to overanalyze your creative work until it's even sterile, to pick apart romantic partners until no one measures up, to make hobbies somehow feel like homework. Instead, move towards the North Node in Pisces' vision of finding your spiritual tribe, connecting with friends who see beyond surface level perfection, and aligning yourself with aspirations that transcend individual achievement. On January 26, Neptune enters Aries and slides into your 12th house for the next 14 years, would you believe? This begins a profound spiritual awakening that will fundamentally alter your relationship with the unseen realms. Neptune in the 12th house dissolves the boundaries between your conscious mind and the vast ocean of the unconscious. You might find yourself drawn to meditation, energy healing, or some sort of mystical practice that previously seemed maybe too abstract for your practical Taurus nature. Your dreams become vivid messengers carrying information that your conscious mind might have been avoiding. Then Saturn follows Neptune into the same 12th house on February 13, and suddenly your spiritual journey starts to get serious. Saturn here demands you face whatever you've been avoiding. These are the old karmas, hidden fears, self-sabotaging patterns running beneath your conscious awareness. Mind you, this isn't any sort of punishment. It's a form of liberation through confrontation. Some of you born under Taurus will feel some sort of health issue emerging, and this requires rest and retreat, requires a bit of downtime. Others will simply feel an overwhelming need to withdraw from the world and to do deep inner work. When Saturn and Neptune combine at 0 degrees of Aries on February 20, your cosmic therapy session is underway. Whatever emerges from the shadow over these weeks needs to be acknowledged, processed, and integrated. This is about building spiritual discipline, while at the same time surrendering to the mystery, a paradox that will define your next few years. In March to May, you can release and restructure. The total lunar eclipse in Virgo on March 3rd falls in your 5th house, again highlighting this area of your horoscope. This brings a culmination around creative projects, romantic relationships, or how you've been expressing joy in your life generally. Something will reach its natural conclusion at this time. Perhaps a creative project is completed, a romance runs its course, or you finally admit that the hobbies you've been forcing yourself to perfect no longer bring you any pleasure. This eclipse is giving you permission to let go of the need to be flawless in your self-expression. Uranus is still dancing at the end of Taurus through April, giving your identity a at least one last revolutionary shake before it moves into Gemini permanently on April 25th. These final weeks of Uranus in your sun sign are your last chance to complete the liberation that began in 2018. Whatever breakthrough you're seeking around your body, your values, your sense of self, well, now's the time to claim that. Uranus won't return to Taurus for another 84 years. June to July is a karmic pivot. Jupiter enters Leo on June 30, lighting up your fourth house of domestics and emotional foundations. The second half of 2026 brings expansion and optimism to your domestic front. You might move to a larger space, you could welcome family members into your home, or simply feel your emotional security growing deeper roots. Jupiter here in Leo is dramatic and generous, and your home becomes a stage for creativity, warmth, and some sort of celebration and partying. Then on July 26th, the nodes shift and your karmic direction completely shifts as well. North node enters Aquarius, which is your 10th house of career and public status, while the South node enters Leo, your 4th house of home and family. This is a major reorientation of your soul's purpose for the next 18 months. You're now being called to move towards professional achievement, public recognition, and career leadership. Your growth happens through stepping into some sort of authority role, building your reputation more, and contributing your gifts to the world stage. Meanwhile, you're releasing the South Node in Leo, a tendency to hide at home, to make family drama the centre of your universe, or to use domestic comfort as an excuse to avoid your public calling now. This doesn't mean neglecting home and family, it means breaking the pattern of using them as excuses for why you can't step into your professional power. In August, the eclipse activation takes place. Total solar eclipse in Leo on August 12th lands in your 4th house. This initiates new beginnings, and that's around you, again, your home, your family, and the emotional foundation of your life. But with the South Node now in Leo, this eclipse is also about releasing, letting go of old family patterns, outdated emotional security strategies, or the belief that you can only feel safe when you're completely comfortable. New domestic situations will emerge, and through that challenge, you're going to grow. The partial lunar eclipse in Pisces on August 28 falls in your 11th house, bringing closure to the friendship and community focus that's been developing since last year, 2025. This is the final Pisces eclipse of the cycle. You're releasing friends who've been draining rather than inspiring. You don't need those vampires around you any longer. Let go of aspirations that sounded good, but don't necessarily match your authentic values. And this will then complete a chapter of social evolution. Now, in September to December, you can look forward to integration and some sort of forward motion. Uranus in Gemini continues revolutionizing your finances throughout. Your relationship with material security is being completely rewired too. What felt important to own or control 6 months ago might seem completely irrelevant now. You're learning that true security comes from adaptability, not hoarding. Jupiter in Leo expands your home life through the year's end, but the South Node there too, you're learning to find emotional security within yourself rather than depending on external circumstances to feel safe. Your challenge really is letting your home be a launching pad for your career rather than a hiding place from it. Saturn and Neptune in your 12th house continue their slow work beneath the surface. By December, you understand that spiritual development isn't separate from material life. It's the foundation that makes everything else meaningful. The meditation practice you establish now will sustain you through decades to come. Pluto in Aquarius has been transforming your 10th house of career all year. By the year's end, you'll know what you're building towards professionally, even if you can't see the complete picture yet. Trust that the destruction of old career structures is definitely making room for something far more powerful and authentic. So, Taurus, the year's ultimate message, I guess, is that 2026 is about completing this metamorphosis that began when Uranus first entered your sign in 2018. You're not the same person you were 7 years ago. You're stronger now, more authentic, more independent, and paradoxically more spiritually connected. The first half releases creative perfectionism and romantic overanalysis, teaching you that community and spiritual connection matter more than individual flawlessness. The second half redirects your considerable earth sign determination towards professional achievement and public contribution rather than just domestic comfort. And in summing up, your challenge is really allowing material structures to change while at the same time cultivating a spiritual center within yourself. Let your career transform. It's okay. Go with the flow. Let your finances evolve. Let relationships reconfigure themselves. But develop the inner stillness that remains constant regardless of external circumstances. That's where your real security lives, not in what you own, but in who you've become. And by the end of the year, you'll understand that true stability comes from within, and that realization indeed will set you free.